Even what's another episode of Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell, episode number 80, live on Econo Media Network, a new network streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. It's a brand new month of December, made to the final month of the 2025 year. And it's a lot to get into, man. Got the college football landscape of things, got the championship games coming up this week. A lot of kind of controversy going on with the rankings with Notre Dame, Miami, who should be in head to head and stuff like that. Strictly schedules, a lot of stuff going on, who should be in. There's been a lot of talk about that. But last week, there wasn't that many upsets. The only upset that really stood out was Texas A&M losing last Friday to the arch rival Texas Longhorns. That was the main upset that stood out back in last Friday after Thanksgiving. Everything else really went according to who was supposed to win. Basically, Ohio State beat Michigan 27-9. Uh, there's a lot that wins that game as far as remaining undefeated for Ohio State and beating their arch rivals. That's what they had to do, and they did that in grand fashion, winning 27-9. So they won that game. And then you had Alabama eke out a win against Auburn. Usually, when they play against Auburn in their building, it usually be a very difficult place to play. But they was able to pull it out, and they was able to get the W and get the victory. 27-20. That was the final score. Miami beat Pittsburgh 38-7, but will that be good enough to get a at large bid? And plus, they're not in the ACC championship game. The ACC championship game is going to be Duke versus Virginia. So there wasn't that much drama going on. Yes, SMU got upset by California 38-35, but there wasn't that many like shakeups in the top 10 except for University of Texas A&M lose. But Texas A&M is still going to be in the postseason regardless of the loss, 27-17. I don't think they're going to get a first round bye. See that happening. So that's basically it, man. So let's look at the championship week. We got the Sun Belt Championship tomorrow. If you're interested in Troy versus James Madison, North Texas versus Tulane, the American Championship. Then you got the championship Saturday, BYU against Texas Tech. It's a big game for both teams, obviously, basically for BYU to try to get into the postseason. And this may help Notre Dame. Definitely could help Miami to get in. We'll see. Definitely Alabama. Keep your eyes on that. Georgia. Alabama's number 9. I didn't really care personally about Ohio State, Indiana. I don't think that's a major game. Change the scene because both teams are undefeated, 12-0, 1-2. But this doesn't make no difference because whoever loses this game, they're not going to be knocked out of the playoffs. They're still going to be in the postseason. Then you got Virginia versus Duke. So that's the ACC championship game. So that's what's on the docket for Saturday. So that's what's on the docket. So let's get into predictions. Who I have winning basically the Saturdays games. I'm not going to get into the games tomorrow. So let's get into predictions. Who I have winning basically the Saturdays games. I'm not going to get into that. Saturday, BYU and Texas Tech. I'm going with Texas Tech to win that game against BYU. I got Georgia beating Alabama. I go with Ohio State over Indiana, and I'll go with Virginia over Duke. That's how I see it in the championship Saturday. So that's it for the college football landscape. It's sad to see that the college football season ended last week. The last weekend of regular season took place, and that's it. Let's get into the National Football League. Now we into the month of December. Now everything gets serious. Now we're gonna see who are the true contenders and the true pretenders. And then when you look at last week, Thanksgiving, Detroit lost to Green Bay 31-24, and the Cowboys beat the Chiefs 31-28. Now it sets up a great matchup tonight, 8:15 p.m. on Prime Video. I'm not gonna be able to see that game unfortunately because I don't have Prime Video, but it's a big time matchup. If you have Prime Video, 7-5 Detroit versus 6-5-1 Dallas. That's going to be a major, major game between these two teams, and we're going to see who the true contenders are. Once you get into December, now you're going to see who the true contenders are. We're going to see who's going to really step up. Dallas is playing great football right now. They're looking very good, but they got to keep on winning. This is a must win for both teams, and see who's going to come out on top. Now, last week, scores that stood out last week. How about the Bears, man? They 9-3. Atop of the NFC standings, man. Who thought that'd be the case? I think they're on top. They got a 9-3 record like the Rams in Seattle. It's like a three-way tie. So they may not be on top. It's like a three-way tie for the top #1 seed. So who thought that Chicago, with Caleb Williams, the new head coach Ben Johnson, should be up for coach of the year? It's like Mike Vrabel, stuff he's doing with New England, 11-2. Denver 10-2. It's been a strange season in the National Football League, and Chicago, man, Chicago got a chance. They beat the Philadelphia Eagles last week. They basically ran the football. Weather was a factor, but that's when it's cold, that's when you gotta run the football, and you saw that in effect. They ran for over 200 something yards, 281 yards, I believe. They was able to run the football with regularity, and this Eagles defense pretty good. They haven't played well the last couple of weeks, especially against Dallas, especially against the Bears. So that's the thing that stands out. So I need to say about that. Eagles are dealing with these kind of collapses again. So similar to like a couple years ago. See if they get themselves together when they go travel to LA, face the Chargers. And also on Sunday, Buffalo Bills handed business against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They won 26-7. They ran the ball extremely well with James Cook. They didn't have to rely on Josh Allen to be Superman and bail them out. So that's what it comes down to. You gotta run the football once you go into December, late November, December, and January. We gotta run the football. We gotta have a premium run the football. And that's a good relief for Josh Allen because he does so much for the team. So have them run the football was a great situation. 281 yards the Bears ran the ball last Friday. Then you had the Colts lose to Houston, Texas. Colts are coming back to the pack a little bit, and the Texans are very dangerous, man. They got big time defense. He just got to do whatever he's got to do. Nico Collins and run the football pretty effective, and they have a shot. When you look at the Colts, man, the Colts not looking good. They're showing their true colors. They're not looking good last couple of weeks. So we're gonna see how they handle this verse that the Colts are dealing with because they play the Jaguars this weekend. That's what 2 losses in a row because they lost to the Chiefs, who were 20-9 lead, and then they lose 20-16 at home. So now you got a 2-game losing streak going to the game against the Jaguars. Then you also got the Steelers and the Ravens. Let's fast forward to this Sunday's games. Keep your eyes on Jaguars and the Colts. Both teams are 8-4. Jaguars playing pretty good. Steelers versus Ravens. Steelers down not looking good right now. The Ravens lost last week on Thanksgiving, 32-14. Joe Burrow came back, did his thing. The defense forced about 5 turnovers in that game. Joe Burrow threw 2 touchdown passes, so he looked like himself. And then you got the Bears and the Packers. That's a big time game for first place. The Texans and the Chiefs. That's a big time game on Sunday night. The Chiefs got to win the rest of their games in order to get in the playoffs. If they lose one game, they may be out. First time in a long time. Then you got the Eagles and the Chargers. So that's what you got in the docket for us, those matchups. Let's get into the things. I think the Colts are gonna beat the Jaguars. I think they'll bounce back, get back to basics of what they are, why they got to such a great start. The Ravens over the Steelers, Packers over the Bears, Chiefs over the Texans. And I got the Eagles over the Chargers. Those are my picks and predictions that I have for the first Sunday in December, man. This is down the stretch, man. This is week 14. This is it. This is where the rubber meets the road, show who really the best. That's what it's all about. So that's it. As far as that's concerned for the NFL, that's basically it. All right. So finally, just to end this show, let's get into honest day in sports history, December 4th. I can go over everything. I'm gonna start with December 4th, 1914. Walter Johnson accepted an advance from the Chicago Whales of the Federal League. Washington Senators owner Cliff Clark Griffith threatens to take Johnson to court. 1943. Major League Baseball Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis announced that any baseball club may sign Negro players, black players. That's what he was talking about at the time. Blacks were called Negroes back then. The Negro leagues and stuff like that. They were not regarded as blacks, but the Negro players. That's what was going on at the time because baseball was dealing with a lot of difficulty, getting black players. So they were called Negro leagues, the black leagues, Negro leagues. So he was able to announce that any baseball club could sign black players. Blacks were regarded as Negroes. That's what it was about back in the day. Next, 1949, Bobby Gage tied the NFL record for the longest touchdown run, the 97-yard score for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 1962, Ernie Davis in the draft in the NFL. This is when the draft was not always in the springtime. It used to be sometime in the wintertime or, the fall, winter kind of months. University of Syracuse running back, no one picked by the Washington Redskins. 1964, on December 4th, baseball approves a free agent draft. In the NFL's 5,000th game, Cincinnati Bengals beat the Kansas City Chiefs 27-7. That was the 5,000th game in NFL history. That's interesting. 1988, Eddie Murray, the first baseman veteran of the Orioles, was traded to the Dodgers in 1988. 1996, Orlando Magic tied the NBA record for fewest points scored since inception of the 24-second clock, due to the Cleveland Cavaliers' 84-57. NBA suspended former Golden State Warriors guard Latrell Sprewell on 1997 December 4th for 1 year for attacking coach PJ Colismo. That's it. Pedro Martinez in 2011 announced his retirement from professional baseball. 2017, New York Giants fired head coach Ben McAdoo and manager Jerry Reese after a 2-10 start. So that's it for what happened on December 4th, man, on that day. So that's it for the first episode in the month of December, the 80th episode. Being tuned for my articles that I write for reclinermedia.com on the Recliner Media Network platform. I have articles that I write on a regular basis. Be on the lookout for the new one coming up for next week. So that's it for today, for this episode. Be back next Thursday night for 81, episode number 81. So be on the lookout for that. So that's it. Keep moving. Yeah, Ben McAdoo was fired on December 4th, 2017, and Jerry Reese on the same day. The team was 2-10. At the time, this was a year before after they had made to the playoffs under Ben McAdoo's tenure, 11-5. So that's it. Matter of fact, he's on the New England Patriots. They looking good. They beat the Giants this past week. He's a senior defensive assistant. Yeah, so that's what happened on this day. The GM got fired, Jerry Reese and Ben McAdoo got fired on the same day, 2017. All right, so that's it, man, for today. Thanks for tuning in. Be back next week. Again, be on the lookout for the next article coming up on reclinermedia.com. Be on the lookout for that. Content is going to continue to get better and better. It's great that the Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell has reached 80. Special thanks to Michael Spilling for giving me the opportunity to do this, and the best yet to come. So until then, talk to you next time, next Thursday night, for episode number 81 of Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell. Have a good night.
Whether you need a surety bond to operate your business, manage an estate, or work on a construction project, our dedicated team of underwriters